Okay, look at this picture carefully. Observe it. You get 30 seconds to observe this picture. And observation is important because that's where this picture or the stimulus will be correctly perceived by you. If you don't observe it correctly, you will not be able to correctly perceive it, and you will be doing it based on certain assumptions that will be wrong. So I'll help you to observe this picture. You can clearly see there are two male characters in the picture. One person is formally dressed. He's dressed in a full shirt. He's wearing a trouser and he's sitting inside the boat. The boat is in the water, and in front of him there is a strongly built man, a boatman probably. He has got a gamcha tied around his head. He is wearing a kurta kind of thing, half sleeves. He is well built and he is holding a pistol in his hand that is pointed towards the first person who is sitting on the boat on the right hand side. This boatman has a gamcha tied around his waist also, and is wearing a dhoti in a typical UP or Bihar style. And the boat is in the middle of the water body. The water body cannot be a sea or an ocean because the boat is very small. It has to be in a river or a big lake. And it is probably a motorized boat because this box probably can be the motor, or even if it is not a motor boat, the boatman must be rowing it. The person sitting in front, he is caught unprepared and surprised. His eyes are expressing that fear or that unexpected act by this boatsman. His both hands are raised up. He is in a defensive posture. This man definitely has to be in an aggressive posture to do whatever he is doing. Why is he doing? Who is the other person? All those things are a matter of, what led to the situation and all those stuff. There are birds flying behind, probably crossing the river to go to their nest or whatever. So if you look at this picture carefully, it is a dynamic or a risky situation. Dynamic means fast changing situation, because 2 minutes before the boatman was rowing and suddenly takes out the pistol and the whole game changes. There is risk involved both for the boatman and for the person who is sitting in the front. Boatman, because in case if that other person tries to do something, and if there is a fight, and in case if he shoots and something happens, the other person dies, it becomes a complicated case. For the other person who is sitting, what is the risk involved? What is he wanting? If he does not obey to it, he may even shoot, so he can lose his life, or maybe he may get hurt also seriously. So there is risk involved. Both sides there is high degree of emotional self-regulation required. The boatman, he is in an aggressive state. He would like to achieve his aim without shooting or killing him, because that will complicate the problem for him. And for the person who is being pointed by the pistol, for him also, he has to regulate his fear, he has to maintain his calmness under crisis, and he has to respond in a manner that minimum harm or no harm is caused to him, and he is able to extricate out of that situation. It requires certain degree of stress handling. So definitely we are looking for stress handling, your stress response. Now, depending upon who this boatman is he doing a crime, or is he doing something legal? Who that person is who's sitting, is he a person who is a law-abiding person or a law-breaking person? All this will depend upon how do you create the whole story. And to know all that thing, the psychologists ask you to three things while you have to respond to this. What led to this situation? Whatever is seen in this picture, what led to the situation, what is currently happening, and what is the final outcome. So these aspects have to be covered by you when you write this story. So I hope all of you are observing this picture the way I have explained you. In case if this boatman is doing a crime, then please remember this crime cannot happen in a crowded place. It cannot happen in Allahabad ka Sangam, because there will be a lot of other people. And if it is something else, you have to, suitably weave it in your story. So from a stimulus response perspective, let's see what the psychologist is trying to do with you when he's presenting this picture to you. So on the left, it is you have a internal frame of mind, and you have a world outside. So this picture is presented to you by the psychologist as the stimulus. So the one is the stimulus presented by the picture. This stimulus, you take it inside your world within you through your eyes. The instructions, you take it through your ears, and within you the inner process happens. 2 is your inner process that happens within you, and in the inner process, based on how you perceive this picture, there is an internal input that gets added to this picture or the stimulus, and that whole thing makes the 2 or the inner process that constitutes your mansa, which the psychologist is interested to know. But this mansa is happening within you, so he cannot see this, so he asks you to write this on a piece of paper. That's a 3. That's a response. So response, you give it in writing. So please understand, psychologist gives you 1, you give him 3. So that's the stimulus and the response, and in between you have the inner process. And in the inner process, there are 3 faculties that are involved: your mind, your intellect, and your subconscious mind, which is your 90% of your personality. And TAT is based on theory of needs. So your data from your subconscious gets extracted, your belief system, your complexes, your experience, your attitude, your motives, your self-concept, your value system. And in the process, you weave the whole structure of the story, and that is presented to the psychologist in the form of this written document. So the response, or this 3, the response is nothing but an expression of your mansa, and mansa is nothing but 2, what's happening within you. So mansa becomes the Gangotri, and what you write becomes the Ganga. So there is no point cleaning the Ganga when the Gangotri is not touched. So clean the Gangotri, the Ganga will get better. That's why I keep saying, between the stimulus and the response, you have the freedom of choice, and that freedom of choice is happening in the inner process, which constitutes your mansa, and this mansa gets manifested in the form of this written document in case of psychological test, vacha in case of interview, and karmana in case of GTO. So I hope till here you have understood. If you have understood, I will tell you that there are certain common things that come out. The common thing is he's a boatsman and he is taking a tourist across the river, and suddenly he tries to loot that person, and then the person will say कि भैया आप ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हो. Then he becomes emotional, he says मेरी बेटी बीमार है, माँ बीमार है, wife बीमार है, मेरे पास पैसे नहीं. Then he'll give him a job. That's one kind of story that people write. The second kind of story is the boatman takes out everything from him, showing the pistol, and the man suddenly shakes the boat, उसका पिस्टल गिर जाता है and he overpass. ऐसी स्टोरी अभी लिखते हैं. कुछ स्टोरी है कि बोटमैन उसको लूटता है और उसको कुदा के भगा देता है, और वो बाद में पुलिस में जाकर रिपोर्ट कर देता है कि सर इस बोटमैन ने मुझे लूटा है, और वो पूरा पैसा वैसा मिल जाता है, बोटमैन को जेल कर देता है. वेरी स्टूपिड वे ऑफ राइटिंग कि लूटने के बाद बंदा वहीं पर आएगा. देन कम स्टोरी लाइक द बोटमैन इज ए police person in disguise, and that person is a smuggler. He does some smuggling, and one day in a civil dress the boatman catches him. ऐसी भी स्टोरी आती है. These are the common themes that some people write it as a movie का सीन है जहाँ पे बोटमैन और जो दूसरा पर्सन है एक मूवी का सीन के लिए है. So when you make a movie का scene, the stress is completely out, and there are a lot of funny stories also that comes. So those are very common things. I'll suggest you not to write those common story, and I will request you टू राइट अ रिस्पॉन्स इन सब चीज़ों से हट के थोड़ा गहराई में सोच के 4 मिनट में लिखने की कोशिश करना और उसको इसी यूट्यूब के कमेंट बॉक्स में पोस्ट करना. प्लीज़ राइट समथिंग दैट आई हैव स्पोकन. उससे हट के ज़रा सोचो, तभी आपके ऊपर सोचने को प्रेशर आएगा. और उसको लिखने के बाद यू गो टू courses.ganeshbabu.in. वहाँ पे आई हैव गिवन ए सैम्पल स्टोरी. उस सैम्पल स्टोरी को पढ़ना और उस सैम्पल स्टोरी को पढ़ के अपने स्टोरी को उस सैम्पल स्टोरी के साथ कोरिलेट करना, कंपेयर करना इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्लैरिटी एंड द डेप्थ ऑफ थिंकिंग. एंड देन देखना कि क्या आपकी सोच में वो क्लैरिटी है जो उस सैम्पल स्टोरी में है. दैट सैम्पल स्टोरी इज रिटन बाय ए NDA/10+2 TS का. NDA में ही वॉज मेरिट लिस्ट 3, 10+2 TS में ही वॉज मेरिट लिस्ट 1. एंड वो 18 साल का लड़के का जो क्लैरिटी है, क्या आपके पास वो क्लैरिटी है? अगर है तो बहुत अच्छा, नहीं है तो देयर इज़ अ केस दैट यू प्लीज़ क्लीन योर गंगोत्री. बिकॉज वो इनर प्रोसेस को जब तक हम ठीक नहीं करेंगे तब तक बात बनेगी नहीं. सो you can also post your feedback at 9090099035 WhatsApp karna, and we will see that. So please write it and do as I've told you. Post it in the YouTube comment box and go to courses.ganeshbabu.in. Watch the sample response. There are other sample responses also. Usko bhi dekhna. Uske alawa, those of you are interested in joining the 2 weeks AFOSOP offline composite batch which is conducted at Pune, Maharashtra mein, you can contact me at 9090099035. WhatsApp me and I'll share you the details of batch कब से शुरू हो रहा है, क्या है, and all that, fees details and all those things, and institute address, whatever details are required, I'll share you that. 2 weeks offline composite batch. 4 weeks option is not available. So do WhatsApp me at 9090099035 pe. And for those people who cannot attend the offline classes, I'm building the pre-recorded AFOSOP SSB classes which will be available at courses.ganeshbabu.in. Already I've started building up. It'll be built up more soon. So you can join that, those people who cannot come. So 500% clarity guaranteed, whether it is offline class or pre-recorded classes. These classes are made in depth and 500% clarity guaranteed. Thank you. Kindly share this information with your friends and do write your response and post it below the YouTube comment box and we'll get back to you. Thank you and may God bless you. Thank you very much.